Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start. Maybe others will trickle in. I know a couple people that are not feeling well, so they won't be here. In case you all don't know, I'm Tasha Davis. I am the president of the Human Service Council meeting. I was just sharing that I remember when we used to have our meetings here many, many years ago. And so it's fun to be back here again because it's been a while since I've been in this building. And so we thank Lysil for hosting us, and Carson's going to tell us some things. And so go ahead and educate us.
Love it. Well, thanks for being here, friends. I'm glad that the sun has hopefully drawn some of you out. It's drawn me out. We're just going to talk a little bit today about the center, what we do, and how you can utilize our services for the folks you may serve. So here's kind of what we're going to talk about. What is independent living versus like institutionalization. We're going to go over our services. We're going to talk a little bit about our disability etiquette and our peer-to-peer program, our free equipment loan program, and our personal assistant referral program.
Hey Carson?
Yeah?
Sorry to interrupt. Is that presentation you are presenting, is that emailable?
Sure is.
Okay.
I'll happily send it out too.
Thank you.
So this is the most brief and to do this justice of the history of the independent living movement. So essentially, people were being put away in institutions because they wanted to be hidden away, whether it was physical, mental. People were just being put away under the guise of going to medical institutions and getting help. So it was like John F. Kennedy came around and he's like, wait a minute. He went into one of these institutions. He's like, this is appalling. This is abhorrent. This is inhumane. There's zero dignity here. Disgusting. And so that was kind of like what started shedding the light on the independent living movement. Fast forward many decades, not many decades, but decades. We have Ed Roberts, who applies to go to University of California, Berkeley, is first denied admission because he uses a chair. He appeals that and then can go to the college, but he has to live in the infirmary. That's where he has to live and get his education and do all the things.
Because his the lung that he was hooked up to was the only
machine.
flooring that was strong enough to support the medical equipment he needed to stay alive.
So from that experience, he found the Berkeley Physical Disabled Students Program, which becomes the national model for the Centers for Independent Living. And the philosophy is quite simple. People with disabilities should be granted the same civil rights, options, and control over choices in their own lives as do folks without disabilities. Dignity in choice, dignity to fail, dignity to take risk, right? That's what this is all rooted from. And so Ed Roberts is considered the father of independent living. So the center is kind of grounded in 5 services, core services. The most resonating one is the peer support. It's a peer-to-peer program, and that is what makes such a cool difference here. Advocacy and education, we have an information referral, transition services, so getting folks out of nursing homes, getting folks settled outside of those institutions, as I was kind of talking about. And we're all about skill development. We're all about taking folks where they are and helping them build skills, whether it's learn the bus route, whether it's get in an Uber for the first time and take that. We can help, and we do provide that skill development, and it is consumer driven. We are here to help. We are a peer to help, and we provide those services through all of these offerings.
I have to say, an example is Carson recently taught someone a person that can't read, how to order an Uber on his phone, how to make sure he knew when it was the correct vehicle.
The safety aspects of it, and because he really wanted to do that. He's done relying on Connect Transit. For those of you who have had to rely on Connect Transit, right? Say no more. So he's like, I'm done, and I know I have choices, and I can make this choice. I just need a little help to learn. And it was fun. And it was like really cool when he's like, all right, I'm ready, let's do it. I'm like, so it was really sweet. So just kind of like what our consumers experience here. We move folks out of nursing homes. We help folks navigate the difficulties of Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Glad our Doors friends are here. Our state worker friends are here. The center, we are not state workers, 501c3, balling on that budget, just like many of you as well. Our consumers receive services for free. They can just walk in and get that peer-to-peer coaching, mentoring, whether they want it sustained or whether they're like, hey, help me fill out this Bloomington housing application, and then we never see them again, right? So it's their entry of what they need help with and how they see it. And the really cool thing is, which I feel in my short time, I'm fairly new in this position with the center, and misconception is when you hear centers for independent living, folks are like, oh, so assisted living. Like they're not like, that's not what this is. It's folks remaining employed, remaining independent outside of any kind of institution. And so one of our services is folks can receive free amplified phones. So if you have difficulties seeing, hearing, we can help you. We have a peer group that hangs out every other week and get about 16 folks, and that's been really cool to see kind of blossom as well. And again, back to Connect Transit and Paratransit. We had folks go to a Connect Transit board meeting last week, and they've been invited to join a coalition with Connect Transit to sit at the table and be the voice of the disabled. So it's really cool to see actively some of our consumers really using the independent living philosophy. Peer-to-peer, just again, that is the bread and butter of this place, in my opinion. It allows a safe space to feel judgment-free, to just share feelings, fears, what's going on in life. And it just really does improve quality of life. Many of our consumers who attend our peer hangouts, that's really the only social interaction they're getting. Due to, whether they're living out in Pekin and they don't have a ride, or, they just can't be in rooms with a lot of people. So they're joining online. Mm-hmm. It's really cool to see these folks come together and build this community. They've extended the group by 30 minutes because they are finding they're constantly going over. And I think that is just so beautiful and speaks volumes of the peer-to-peer, not just fellow consumers, but with the staff as well.
Carson, can I add something?
Mm-hmm.
So something unique about Centers for Independent Living is that I work at Lifestyle too. My name's Murray. Anyway, 51% of our staff and 51% of our board have to be people with disabilities. So that peer mentoring is built right in. Staff are peer mentoring all the time. And our staff are at 100% disabled. And our board's about 60-something percent with disabilities. And so that also, I'm going to bring your attention to this back wall. Historically, people with disabilities' lives have been managed by people without disabilities. Mm-hmm. So one of our mottos that you will see is nothing about me without me. Mm-hmm. We try to get people with disabilities on community boards and Connect Transit. Mm-hmm. You'll see nothing about us without us. So yeah, things didn't go too well for us when other people made decisions for us. Institutional life is what happened. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, the minute we stop advocating, we're in fear again. So, anyway, thank you, Carson. You're doing a great job.
Oh, thanks, Marie. Compliance check. This is a national network too. This is like county to county. So we serve McLean, DeWitt, Livingston, and Ford. But there are centers for independent living throughout the state of Illinois and throughout the nation, which is just so beautiful. And it's kind of engraved in the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, 5 or 3, which becomes the Americans with Disabilities Act. So if you know of any friends who just need a little socialization, send them our way. We're so weird and cool over here. It's beyond. We can facilitate disability etiquette conversations. We can come to you. We can send you resources. To just kind of have conversations. We're not here to preach at you. We're not here to tell you you're wrong if you grab a blind person by the arm without their permission. That's okay. That's instinct sometimes. But just educating and having those conversations, we find, makes folks more aware in their daily lives as they navigate to see people. And So just some tips, you know. And I made this mistake with a guide dog when I first started working here. I'll share this. There was a person came in with a dog, and it was a cute little puppy dog, and I was like, ah! Right, like, and I acknowledged the dog, and I hadn't gotten my training in terms of you don't acknowledge a guide dog. The guide dog's working. That could throw off, you know, the person. So. It's really easy to kind of fall into a faux pas, but again, we can learn and we can push and we can advocate. So we'd love to come out and give a disability etiquette conversation or training, very very chill, very lax. Okay, so for folks who have personal assistants, so that's home health care that folks can hopefully have the choice to choose who's coming to give them home health or home care. That's called personal assistant. We have a staff person here who helps manage a list and a referral program, and she trains, and she's really great. She coaches the consumers on how to navigate and manage their PAs too. So her name is Melissa. She works in our Pontiac branch office. We do have a branch office in Pontiac. We just moved to downtown Pontiac. It's real swanky. We're across the street from the old courthouse. It's real nice. And then just right behind this wall is our equipment, our hard, durable medical equipment loan stockpile. So, you know, you get out, you need to get out of the hospital, but they're not going to let you go because you need all these things before you can return home. Come to the center and we have your back when it comes to hard, durable medical equipment. So not like beds, not like anything that needs to be washed, anything that can just be wiped with some good old Clorox. So for example, walkers, wheelchairs, canes, crutches, commodes, raised toilet seats, and shower seats. Okay. And this is just a list of our staff. We're small but mighty, small and mighty, I'll say. And these are just kind of the positions broken out in terms of the programs we can help you with. And I love a good quote, but I love Celine Dion too, so I'm going to do a Celine Dion quote. She says, "The last couple of years has been such a challenge for me, the journey of discovering my condition to learning how to live with and manage it and not let it define me." She has stiff person's disease. And she's like made a complete comeback, and she just said that, and I find such inspiration in Celine Dion that I wanted to end with that, and thank you for your attention. I feel really good energy in this room, so it's really, I received that really well, so thank you for giving that to me while I presented.
Thank you. I have a couple questions for
Ask
you.
away, yeah.
So, one of the questions I had was regarding the disability and etiquette. So you'll go to the business that would like you to come and share that information?
Yeah, we'll come to you, like if you're like, hey,
Okay.
we're doing a quarterly staff meeting and we
Okay.
want X amount of time on our thing to talk about this, will you come and help us out?
Yeah,
We'd love to do that.
I think that's awesome because
Yeah.
a lot of times people don't know. I'll just use as an example. My daughter has autism.
Okay.
You guys have seen her on your peer-to-peer. Her name is Unique.
Yes.
So she's been on there a couple times. So when people talk to her, they'll get really loud. She is not hard of hearing, right? So we say things or do things that we think that that's how we communicate with them. So
Yeah.
I think that is awesome to
Yeah.
be able to do that and share with people who do not know. They just don't know.
And it's
So-
okay not to know, right? Like, and then we have to acknowledge that and like not shaming it or, you know, making you feel like you're just a piece of garbage because, you know, you made that mistake. And that's
Yeah.
what we're really intentional about.
That's good. So how long of a time frame is that training?
Murray, what, like 30 minutes? More?
And probably an hour because we always talk
Okay.
about lifestyle services and then we do our thing and then we open it up for questions.
Okay.
So
And so we would just call in to try to schedule? Okay. I love that.
And you'll
And then we
shot
can-
surprise, it'll be me who comes.
It's okay.
There's
You're
usually-
welcome to come.
there's usually like
Forewarned.
two or three of us and we kind of can share our own disabilities.
Awesome.
And but one thing I want to say is we can even do it for this group.
Okay.
If you wanted to see what it was like, and then you can take, then we can do it for your organization too. So
Thank you. I had one other question for you. It was regarding it's just regarding how to access those services. So, say for instance, like I said, my daughter has a need. So, I would love to see her move from home into her own place. So, do you guys help with that type of transition, or is it just nursing homes?
No, absolutely. Any kind of transition out to be more independent. So that
Okay.
situation, it would just depend on her age. I work with
She's
24 and up.
33.
So she would work with me. That's okay. She would work with me, and
Okay.
she would drive the plan with, the help of her supports and,
Yes.
The guidance of her supports,
Yes.
to make that plan and those little tiny micro steps. And then we, work. It's accountability. It's more accountability to the consumer. It helps keep the consumer on a track of
Okay.
and up and up. And it's cool. It's coaching. It's peer. It's really cool. So yeah, to initiate that, you would just give the center a call, or you would email me, and then we would kind of do like a little screening, and then kind of go from there. And
And I used to have Kirsten's job, and I have helped transition people out of their family homes,
Okay.
and it takes a village.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
still can't do it all alone, is
Right.
what I want to say.
Yes.
With many partners in place, it can be a very successful experience.
Thank
So-
you. I appreciate that you guys do this, because sometimes we have them at home because it's easier, but I'm not going to always be around. So actually, helping her to prepare her now would be so helpful. Like I said, she's in her 30s, so which means
That's okay.
mom's older. So.
Yeah. That is okay. And using the center's resource is just, it's right here for you.
Yeah.
So we got
Thank
your back.
you. Awesome. Any other
Carson,
questions?
question.
Hi.
And Mary, you too. So, from a door's perspective, my own job, home services, we have a lot of consumers that live in public housing, apartments or otherwise. Do you guys know if you have people on boards for like housing units to hear the voices of people with disabilities?
We would only know the ones that we've encouraged to be on boards and they've succeeded. Other ones we wouldn't really know about, but
Like I have one consumer who's trying to get on his housing authority board with not much luck. That's really all the experience I have with it, but he's trying.
That's
And he has been trying, yeah.
hope you succeed with that.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we do have a really good relationship with
We do.
Bloomington Housing
Very
Authority.
good relationship.
And they're getting a lot of those mainstream vouchers, and they coordinate with us a lot, especially so they don't get too many built up that are not being used, and we always have people to.
And you
Use
all
them up.
deal a lot with the American with Disabilities Act as far as compliance with accessibility, correct?
Everything we put out is accessible.
What about buildings and things like that, making sure they're accessible?
So
So there is a branch off of the center where we can do on-site accessibility assessments, and essentially, provide that vantage point from the perspective of the disability voice, and then help you kind of take it further from what your goal is with that assessment. But our executive director, Ricky Lee, she's been in the game for a very, very long time, and she is a pro at that, and does a lot of those like on site, can go and assess a location.
Okay.
And if you're grappling with that kind of stuff, the Illinois Accessibility Code supersedes the ADA. So in Illinois, that would be the code you use for accessibility. Illinois Accessibility Code. And they have a lot of long descriptions in there, but they also have a nice little checklist that's easier to look at, so.
Thank you.
Any other
I
questions?
have a question. So I work with early learning families with Unit 5, and I know your work is mainly with like older or adults, but a lot of these kids, a majority of the kids that we see have disabilities, and that's why they're at risk. So when you do things like with helping navigate Social Security, I don't know what you do, how much you do with the funds list, but we've been talking to the parents about trying to get the kids on the funds list, like now.
Yeah.
Would it be advantageous to refer any of them to you for help, even though the adults are not the ones with the disabilities?
Well, in terms of the puns list, we have a consumer who has navigated that, and Marie could speak more to that. But I think yes.
So mostly we refer people to the puns list, and
Right.
they just relocated again and have a different. Where are they now for Bloomington? Are they back in Lincoln again? I don't remember,
I don't
but
know.
Champaign gave it up, and now I
Yeah.
think they're back in, I think Lincoln again. But anyway, so we just refer to that. We don't. I mean, we can explain a little bit about what it is.
Yeah.
We are in all the schools for youth transition into adulthood, and
Yep.
so I know for a fact all the schools and districts we're in, they are mandated to. Schools used to do a really not a great job of informing parents about the future of their children. It was like
Right.
all schools cared about was get done with high school,
Mhm.
and then students stayed home for years, and then we still get the calls where the parents are 80, the children are, in their 60s, and the parents can't take care of their children anymore, and what's going to happen to those kids. So that's what our youth transition program is all about. But yeah, I forget what your question was again, and I don't know if I
About
answered it.
puns.
Just help it, like if you ever help the parents of the younger kids navigate what they need to because of the children having the disability.
Yeah, we'll refer to different resources.
Okay.
We'll research resources. We're pretty familiar with resources available for people with disabilities and families with disabilities.
Okay.
So yeah.
So it's not a bad thing if I have them call up
Mm-mm.
Lifestill and try to get some direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
They'll always get choices from us. We'll always find choices and provide them choices. And so yeah, I would definitely, if you're like, send them our way.
Okay. Great. Thanks.
Especially with kids, there's more times than not, there's always more than one resource.
Yeah.
And that's what you want. You want as many resources to utilize as possible. Puns is, of course, is a great resource, but it's only one, and there are others. And Life Skills has always been a champ with helping us identify what those additional resources are. Though I'm very thankful that we've partnered with them over the years. It's been amazing. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
It
Larry?
does.
So true.
And we also, one of the most common things that we'll get from families is they need IEP advocacy.
Yeah. that's
And we are fingers crossed and knock on wood, but we do have a special ed administrator who retired and now volunteers his time for all 4 of our counties.
That's
So we can refer with people to him, so that's really cool.
Do you
Is
guys
Kim
ever?
still doing that? Sorry.
No, you're
Is Kim still doing that, Tarkowski? Is it Kim?
It is Kim, and
Okay.
Kim is retiring at the end of
Oh.
the month. We already hired another person that she's able to, we're able to overlap the training.
Okay.
And Kim doesn't really do that anymore, but
Okay.
I can always go to her for questions, and she helps me because I have a daughter with a disability who I had to help navigate through stuff like, oh, well, they're denying me my accommodation of longer test time at Heartland Community College, and Kim's like, oh, just, because there's new people manning the testing center or whatever, and Kim just has the best. She's like, why don't you just tell your daughter to carry her accommodation approval with her, and then she can show it.
There
But
you go.
yeah, so simple things like that we can help with, but more advanced stuff would definitely go to the volunteer.
I had one other question regarding being in the schools. Do you guys help parents understand that the need of guardianship as a child gets older? Because sometimes we just think because our child is our child, then we automatically are over them. But when they hit 18, unless there's some form of guardianship, we can't make decisions on their behalf.
So, and I know Carson knows a little bit about this too, but nowadays having full guardianship is not maybe the best thing for every
I agree. I
single
never
child.
took it, but yes.
So parents are getting in schools information about guardianship
Okay.
or decision. What's it called, Carson? Supported decision making or different things like that. So, yeah, I mean, and we are probably not talking about with our students that they need to have guardians directly, but the teachers are getting that information. We kind of have seen a lot of in history guardians that may never have maybe that person never needed a guardian.
Right.
So it's
And then
not,
there's some that needed one and
yes,
doesn't have
so it's
one.
not
So
a simple,
Absolutely.
yes.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Thank you so much. Thank you, LifeSeal, for all this information. We can take it back for some of us home, and for some of us that work with individuals who might need this service, then we could definitely refer over to you. So thank you for hosting on today and providing us great information. So now we're gonna go around and give introductions and any services or anything that you guys have going on. I'm gonna go first. Of course, I'm Tasha with Family Community Resource Center, and I'm sharing a few things because we're involved in a lot of different things. So the first thing I'm going to share is the City of Bloomington is having a housing and resource fair. It's March 19th. It's at Eastland Mall from 10 to 2. Many of us probably here are going to be a part of that. And then Family Community Resource Center also partners with Bloomington Housing. We're having a job and resource fair on April 17th. We're expecting to have it at Eastview Community Center. We did it last year. It was great. So I'll be inviting and asking for some of you to also join us with that. I'm partnering with Transitions, and we're doing a spring planning event, which is going to be April 24th. And what that is we're talking about those very difficult conversations regarding life transitions, right? What do we do as we move forward? Faith and Action is going to take part in that. So that's going to be April 24th. We'll send out flyers, and Tony will forward them all to us. And then the last thing, we are also partnering with Seroptimus, and they're hosting a event called Mom's Day to Dream. And that's going to be April 12th, and it's going to be at Bright Point. So we'll forward everything that I said to Tony, and he'll get those out. And so we'll start with Adam and just kind of go around.
I'm Adam Lovell. I'm the Community Services Director for the Salvation Army. The big thing that's going on with us right now is at the end of this month, we will be closing our emergency winter shelter and our safety net, which we started in October. So we're working on trying to transition those individuals into whatever their next steps may be. Can we find housing for some people? Not that we haven't been trying to find housing for people all along. I think we've housed 12 individuals directly from the emergency winter shelter into housing since October. So that was not really a goal that we set out. It was just get them out of the cold, but we got housing for like 11 or 12 people.
That's awesome.
And we're continuing to try to do that. But some might be planning to go to an encampment. Some may not know what they want to do. Can we find friends or family? Can we find another shelter somewhere that we can send them off to? So we're bringing together our other agency partners, Home Sweet Home, PATH, Center for Human Services, etc. Housing Authority will be there to try to find something for these individuals as we bring emergency winter shelter to a close. So that's the biggest thing that's going on at the Salvation Army. Something that actually was finalized right before I came to this meeting, so you're the first ones to hear about it. So breaking news, there is a motion picture film that is out. It's called No Address. It's by Robert Craig Films. Hasn't gotten a lot of attention nationwide, but if you may have heard about it. You can find the trailer online. It has not been shown here in Bloomington publicly, so we actually finally contracted with the producers to just show it ourselves. So we are going to rent out a 400-seat theater at Heartland Community College, and we're going to be showing that at 6 p.m. Tuesday, March 25th. And hopefully you'll be getting some email. We can promote that as widely as I can. Like I said, just took place like an hour and a half ago. So
Congrats.
There will be like there's a online and an app, just like you go to a normal movie theater and buy your tickets. So I think it's $11 for adults, $9 for kids. So hope to spread the word and get a lot of people there. It depicts kind of an accurate, portrayal of homelessness in America. Lots of really relevant issues to our community, like mental health, dealing with police, dealing with city council, moving encampments, access to resources, all the above. So it's almost like, wow, are they spying on us? But we're really not unique. We're just like every other community, large and small, across the country. So, really great. Then afterwards, we'll have a talk back session with some of our community partners to kind of talk about what's going on, how are we responding to different things in the community for homeless services.
You said 6 p.m.?
6 p.m. is
On
when it will start.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, March 25th.
I'm glad you picked a place that has 400 seats.
Yeah, we did do a private showing at Marcus Theater for about 70 people. It was a couple weeks ago. And, just to kind of gauge reaction, and pretty much the overwhelming reaction was, we got to get the public to see this. It's a very impactful movie. Just watch the trailer and you'll be like, I got to go see that movie. They also did a documentary called Americans with No Address. It's available on Amazon Prime if you want to download that and watch it. It's really good too. They go to 20 different homeless encampments across the country and talk about what is working and what's not working. And some of it is absolutely staggering. I always think about Sacramento has a homeless encampment along a road that's 7 miles long, and it's just nonstop abandoned cars, trailers, RVs, tents, pallets. It's just absolutely remarkable. That's it for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Klein. I'm the Community Engagement Outreach Engagement Coordinator with Bloomington Public Library. I am the new Michelle Cope. I just
Now I
want
get it.
to advertise our spring program guide is out. I brought a bunch of copies. There's a lot of things coming up in the next couple months. This goes through May, and then we'll be in the summer and summer reading, and that's a whole thing. But some interesting programs coming up. We had so many requests to bring this back. There's one called Stop the Bleed, and that's happening on Sunday, April 6th at 2 p.m. in the community center. And it's Carl Broman presenting on how to stop a traumatic, a severely injured person traumatic bleeding incident. And after we had it, people were asking, "Are you going to do that again?" Because they wanted to tell more people to come. It seems kind of, hopefully, nothing that we have to ever deal with, but it's good to be prepared if you do. We also have a suicide prevention training coming up in late April, being presented by the McLean County Center for Human Services. And it's a very powerful one, the question, persuade, refer, that a lot of our staff attended as well. And we still have tax assistance happening at the library. We are one of the sites through VITA, so people who meet a certain income requirement are able to, I think it's Mondays and Saturdays by appointment at the library, get free, because tax time is coming up, it's April 15th, so there's time yet. So just I let people know to sign up for appointments, and then I will have these available if anyone would like to pick up their spring guide, or if you prefer QR code and do it on your phone, you can do it that way too.
Thank you.
Carson can do ours.
Okay, I'm Tony Jones, and I'm your secretary for the Human Service Council, and also I'm a failure at retirement. Let's see, I'm on my third retirement. I retired from State Farm after 36 years, then I started working at Heartland, and then I retired from there, and then I went to McLean County as the grants coordinator for the behavioral, forgot the name of for the behavioral health area, and then I retired from there. So I'm still involved in the community with different things. So I'll just be brief. I'll mention that I'm also the coordinator for the cultural festival, and the date for that is going to be August the 23rd, and you'll get more information about that. But that's pretty much my story for today.
Thank you.
Is that the one at Miller Park?
Yes.
I'm Jenna Salinas. I am an eating disorder specialist at One Hope Project. / case manager, all the things. I wear many hats as we do in nonprofit world sometimes. But small but mighty. I'm going to use that now. I love it. But anyway, I don't really have any updates. Just a little bit about who we are. We help folks struggling with eating disorders / disordered eating. And we just had Eating Disorder Awareness Week pass. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. We have our golf outing coming in September, which is far away. If you're like me, you're living day by day, week by week sometimes. but September 19th, if you did want to put like a date in, if you know somebody that likes to golf, or even maybe just wants to donate, or we have an auction that we do at the golf outing, like a basket for that. If anything, reach out to us. I have my pamphlets back there. Also brought our QR code. If we have a vision board where we put people's messages of hope. If you know somebody that has trouble with an eating disorder or disordered eating, or you have yourself, and what kind of brought you through, or really anything to kind of help our clients when they come in, see some of that, see that hope, those hopeful messages, that they're worth more than, the outside. So anyway, really, I think that is it. Like I said, we kind of went through all of our stuff last month, so yeah, we're kind of quiet right now. Okay, now.
I'm Darla Heath. I'm the Director of Faith in Action, and we serve adults 60 years of age and over with a mostly volunteer program to get them to their medical appointments with volunteers driving them, or to grocery shopping. We have friendly visits and friendly callers, and recently we had our materials translated to Spanish, so I have some of those on the table. We're hoping to reach out to population that we know is underserved, and right now we're working on trying to build trust with people. We don't ask for social security numbers. We just need a permanent address, to be over 60, and to be able to get into and out of the car on your own. So we're hoping that we can reach more folks there. We have had a record number of requests. So far, well, the first 2 months we had 50 requests to become care receivers, which is huge. Because when we add more care receivers, we need to add more volunteers. So we're working on both of those at the same time, and hoping that we don't have to put a hold on who we can bring into the program, because we don't want to offer them possible transportation and then at the last minute not be able to fulfill that. So I also have a question. We have a Fannie Mae fundraiser coming up. Who do I send that flyer to so it can be pushed out to the mailing list?
Do you get the emails from, then you could just send it to that email. It says McLean County Human.
Oh, okay.
So just send it to there,
Very
and
good.
then we'll forward it out. Thank you so much.
I love Fannie Mae, Darla, so
Well,
I'll be hitting that up.
I want you to know that we're having it early so they don't run out of the Easter eggs. Like we always do it at Easter time, and last year, by the time our fundraiser was set, there were no more Easter eggs.
When is that?
It is March, it's a Friday. March 28th from noon to 4. So if you tell them you're shopping for Faith in Action, we'll get a percentage of the sales. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Desiree. I'm the coordinator of disability services at Bridgeway. Right now, the only service that we're offering is help with employment. So if you have any consumers or people in the community interested in finding work, all they have to have is a disability of some sort. It can be mental health, intellectual, developmental, physical, anything like that. We would love to help them find a job. We'll work with them for up to a year to make sure that they're successful in that job. They get the supports that they need, help requesting accommodations, help with their job search. So building a resume, applying for jobs, mock interview skills, how to dress for work, all of those things.
I'm Melissa, I'm new, I work for Doors, I'm new VR counselor, so I don't know what I'm doing yet. So.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
We're really glad. We need you.
Anything else?
No, that's all I got.
Hi there, my name is Elisa Durango Fall. I am born and raised in Bloomington Normal. I am a DARS new VR counselor as well. I've been abroad for the past 7 years. And out of actually Bloomington Normal the past 20 years. So coming back, getting to know, the resources here, seeing faces I recognize, and I love VR. I worked state VR in Texas for about 7 years, so it's wonderful to be back home and just really building my resources to share with Melissa on how we can assist people with disabilities. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm sure I'll be reaching out to all of you over the next couple weeks and showing up at different events. So it's a pleasure to be here, and I feel Carson's energy.
I match it.
Yeah, and to be back at Life Still, so it's very nice to be home.
My name's Wade. I also work for the Division of Rehab Services, and we are so thankful to have 2 new VR counselors. It's long overdue. We do 2 things at Doors. I work in the home services program, and as you heard Carson talk about with personal assistance, we help people maintain in the homes that are at risk of institutionalization or nursing home placement. Way cheaper to keep them at home.
Yeah.
And who wouldn't rather be at home, your own couch, your own chair, with your own remote for your own TV, eating your own food out of your own fridge, et cetera, et cetera. So we pay for people to go in and help take care of them. It could be a family member. And if they don't know anybody or don't have any trusted friends, we can put an agency in for that help as well. We also partner with LifeSil for a reintegration program, who Andrea Kinson kind of heads that here. She's the one that will visit nursing homes and discover somebody's actually in a nursing home that doesn't need to be in a nursing home. They can live out in the community with supports. So she'll work with us to get them out. She'll find them housing, and then we will set up a service plan and have help ready to go. So as soon as they move out, they've got help ready in the home and they can start living independently, which is beautiful. Of course, vocational rehab side of the house, also kind of like Bridgeway. We help people with disabilities find jobs and go to school. So for instance, if your daughter's 3 years old and she got autism and she wants to go for further her education, we'll pay for it. VR is the federally mandated side of the house that pays, that is required by the federal government to run in every state. Home services, not so much, but we do have a great program here in Illinois for home services. VR, if you want to help the children going to school, you get these high school graduates that are getting ready to graduate. They have an IPE because they have doors. We can pay for that education. So whether it be community college or ISU or some other 4-year institute, that's fine. Is it income driven? For the 4-year schools it is, we'll look at mom and dad's income. There is a new initiative that's been out for the past couple of years, and my son used it himself. It's called the Community College Initiative. Doesn't matter how much money mom or dad makes. If they want to go to Heartland for a couple of years, we will pay for it, period, no questions asked. So it's about setting people up for success. Right? And what other better way to set them up for success than by furthering their education? So there you go. And then, of course, I'd love to hear more about your program for providing transportation. That is something that a lot of people in my home service program struggle. Age for home services is basically 18 till whenever. We have people come in way before 60, they'll be in after they're 60, so they don't transfer to Department on Aging at that point. They stay in home services because we provide more services than DOA does. But one of the biggest things is transportation needs. So if you can give us some information on that before I leave today, that would be, I'd be extremely grateful and thankful, as well as my consumers. Lastly, wouldn't it be great to have a web page to go to with all of this information? One-stop shop. A one-stop shop for links to all these agencies and points of contact for people in the community to use instead of. I'm sitting here and I've been in home services for 14 years, and I'm like, you do what? You do what? You really? Didn't know. So this is beneficial for us. Of course, we will take this back to the office. But if I don't know, and I'm working in this field, what's the chance of somebody who needs these services that's never been to one of our places, how would they find out?
Are we talking about like the United Way database or the
That's what I
past
was gonna say, yeah.
database is online at pastcrisis.org, I believe. I don't know how much, like, I mean, I definitely know there's a lot of information outdated on that.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
I was
gonna
probably
say not a lot of-
updated.
I don't know who's managing that right now,
Yeah.
but
And was that part of the 211?
Yeah.
Aren't they losing that
they're
too,
losing
or-
211 to another county. I don't know about that. I can't imagine that database would go away though. That's our central.
I use
you know,
the
our
database
hub for-
sometimes,
yeah.
but it,
Yeah.
maybe we could come up with something that,
Here's a
as
link
part
to
of the
Pat.
Human Service Council and everybody that's a part of the council,
Yeah.
we can click links and, you know, see information for all of the organizations that are part of that. So that might be
That could be,
something.
yeah.
I'll talk to Tony and we'll see what we can come up with.
Sure, like we have our Department of Human Services link, you know,
Yeah.
for FCRC, for doors, and all those things that DHS does.
Yeah.
But to have a link on a page, that somebody might not need to know to go to the DH website, they're
Yeah.
at, say, the PATH website, I need resources, well, let me check this out, IDH.gov, right?
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
I think that the only barrier is who's gonna maintain it and I mean, businesses leave, new businesses come, it's a lot of maintenance.
Well, your contact people change so much.
Yeah.
You know, that's the part that I think Pat couldn't keep up with.
That's true, I know our office address and phone number have never changed,
Yeah, of course, right.
right?
Right.
You know?
So some of that will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that conversation is happening in other organizations around town too. Other
Yeah.
meetings I'm at for the systems of care, they're trying to figure out the same thing. Where can we have all those resources, but no one can figure out, who's going to host it.
Right, I
and
know
who's gonna
Ross
maintain
has a
it.
really good, connect of all the different, they have like this spreadsheet, I don't know if it's anything you can click on, Ross, through TestNet.
Oh.
So they
okay.
have a thing with almost all of the services and stuff, but it's a little different. So my thought was like a spreadsheet, where we could, those of us that are here, then you could easily click and say, oh, well, this, and we can update it as, you know, maybe the leadership team could update it, but we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll just
definitely
talk
a
It
great
just
idea.
goes so much further than the
It's a
people
big-
around this table. I mean,
It's a
there's
big-
so much more that we need.
I agree.
It's a big
It's getting
undertaking.
talked about in McLean County in general too, the disconnect of the resources and the web of finding which one is right for you, and then a lot of people get, like, they don't wanna continue looking, they get frustrated, and then they don't know who to help, or they get sent to another resource, and then that resource sends them to another resource, so it's finding out.
Yeah, and it's nice when we know what's going on and we build relationships and network. That's why I love what we do here. Because a lot of times when people know they need certain things, they'll be like, oh, call Tasha. And then maybe we don't do it, but we can definitely connect with the right people rather than sending them all over the place, which is frustrating. And a lot of times what happens is people just give up and they don't get the
drop,
service that they need.
Yeah.
So I
And
think
people
that's
give wrong information out.
That too.
Yeah.
'Cause no one wants to leave someone hanging without a resource, so
Right.
you give a wrong. But anything with disabilities, you can ask us, you can refer to us, we will
That's
do our
awesome.
best.
It's also hard for people in town, like, we were talking transportation, that don't have transportation to get from one source to the other.
That's true.
Because, you know, I mean, we don't think Bloomington's that big of a town, but then when you don't have transportation, it is a big town.
It is. You're right.
It is, and we wonder why, people that are heavy users of public transportation, they may only be able to schedule one appointment a day, because
Hours.
I know Connect Transit is working on it, but it is not a friendly service. It's not like going to Chicago and you can get wherever you want, whenever you want. It's not.
Right. And for doors, we handle 3 counties, we handle all of McLean, Livingston, and Ford. How many of you have driven outside of Bloomington? Whole lot of rural towns with no transportation
That's true.
at all.
Yeah.
You know, what do they do? Some of them have a hard time even just getting to a doctor's appointment.
And you can refer to lifestyle. I mean, like the 3 things that we always deal with are healthcare, transportation, and housing, and assistive technology. So, we do not have the capacity to keep a list updated for everyone in this room and more, but we do have our own information referral list that we do keep up. So
So we partner with Sue a lot, and I'm thankful. For
we are
14
too.
years I've so thankful, you know, to work with them. We've also worked with Bridgeway too, you know. Common goals, right? We provide hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what people want.
Mm-hmm.
They want hope. They don't want somebody to do it for them.
Mm-hmm.
They want hope.
Right.
So, thank you to Sil, Bridgeway, and others around State Line. I know we have customers that we share it, so thank you for all you do too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm an intern over at Cruising Out of Poverty Services. My supervisor just walked in over there. So that's who I'm here with. But
I've been wanting to learn more about you guys.
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
Yeah, so it's a homeless outreach organization and also a thrift store that people can access for like free clothing. There's a ton of different sizes. There's like shoes, there's a lot of stuff there. I think there's like an internet connection and like phone help and things like that. We also work with integrity counseling services, and we've also been working with the Boys and Girls Club. So we just kind of like work with a lot of people around the community, and we offer like referrals for different resources. So like we'll meet with clients, and if we can't like help them with all their needs, which usually we can't help someone with like all of their needs, we have like a lot of connections in the community to refer them to. So yeah. It's called Cruising Out of Poverty Services. The thrift store is on Wiley Drive, out like the old outlet mall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, the thrift store's there, but then otherwise, we just like can meet clients where they're at all the times. A lot of times we'll even use like the Bloomington Library to meet clients at, so.
Me?
Get it, girl.
I'm Molly. I am the outreach coordinator for Mid Central Community Action, dealing with the Countering Domestic Violence program. And Michelle, she just stepped out, but she is our new manager for our domestic violence shelter. We, event-wise, the only one I can think of is June 2nd is our golf outing. And that's Monday, and it's at Crestwick, I believe. So same, if you want to come out, there's going to be stuff that you can donate for there. And if you like to do golfing and everything, it's I think our 12th annual. So yeah, it's awesome. And then obviously we have a whole website. I don't have my cards because I came from not my office. So, but we have cards, which if you ever want them, Mid Central has them. They have scan on there where you can scan your phone and get all those resources. But that's just a 24-hour hotline. I wrote them all down so I don't forget them. 24-hour hotline, 24-hour emergency shelter, community outreach, legal advocacy, youth services, adult therapy. We have support groups for adult and children. We do medical advocacy, so if someone's in the hospital needing that medical advocate to come, if they were in a domestic violence situation or anything like that, we can go there. We have professional trainings, like he had mentioned, we can come and help train stuff like that. And then our number for the hotline is big and bold in our website, and it's 24 hours, call anytime. If we can't help, or if they're not looking for immediate shelter, we can always give out, we have a constant resource list, updated resource list by our phone that we can help give what they're looking for, anything like that. We offer help under the legal advocacy. We do a lot of OP help. We work with the domestic violence unit in the courthouse to give services to anybody who's in a domestic violence situation. They're more of like the court advocacy side, so they go to court with them. They help them with all the court side of things. But this is Michelle.
I have a quick question for you, Molly.
Yeah.
So you said you're the outreach coordinator?
Yeah.
Okay, so is Ryan still there?
No.
No, okay, so then I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
think
reach-
that was who was in it before.
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
before
I'm
you.
newer too.
No, that's okay. So I want your information because I'm going to be reaching out for an event that we're hosting that we want to invite you guys. So my
Yes.
contact was Ryan, so
Yes.
I'm going to need your information.
Yes, I will love it.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else? No.
I do have a question actually.
Yeah.
Are you guys still offering the 40-hour domestic violence like
Yeah.
certificate classes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just actually did one, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. And that's one of our professional trainings that we do is we get you, whoever wants to take that, you sign up and you go through 40 hours of domestic violence training. You learn all about domestic violence, people who choose harm, cycles, anything like that. And then after you get the 40-hour certificate, that makes you like a domestic violence advocate.
Do you know what the cost is? No, it's 2 years.
2 years.
Oh gosh, that's still on my resume from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, you're still.
You can get it.
You can.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
I got 40-hour training.
Yeah.
You can get it.
Yeah, we offer them. I'm actually running the 40-hour training in August. So
That's what I was gonna ask. Is there's a cost? Sorry, I can't talk. Is there a cost for that training?
There has always been a.
there has, I don't know how much.
Yeah.
No, there's a cost.
Oh, it's
Well,
right
that's
on our
how we
website
get
for
people,
right?
they make it
Yeah,
really easy
exactly.
for people like me who are technologically challenged. So it says just anybody who wanted information if they were interested in that. Our key topics: domestic violence dynamics, safety and assessment, children issues, teen dating violence, cultural humility, religion and domestic violence, people who choose harm, and the IDVA and legal issues side of domestic violence. You learn all about that, and it can get you certified to be a domestic violence advocate. It does not say how much it is, but if you go on our website, when they update this for registration for the 40-hour for August, it will take you and give you a link, and it will tell you all about signing up or registering for the 40-hour training. Michelle, would you like to? I introduced you, but okay.
Like I'm saying, you know, I'm just kind of like, I'm new there, so.
I'm doing so great.
Thank you. It's been a lot because you see a lot of, you see it raw, you know, the victims come to you, so they have different situations and they look to you like, you know, you're like their first contact to like whatever is happening to them, so you just like calm them down and let them know that this is the right place to be in and work with them in terms of what they need, their immediate goals, like if it's housing or if it's education, whatever it is you want to do. Some of them come with kids, so you have to think of like childcare and all this stuff. So it's so far it's been tasking, but it's been you know, it's a learning process. It's been okay.
We applaud you for what you do.
Yeah.
We know exactly what it's about. We both worked in that area, so at the Double House and so forth. I actually don't see it. So I absolutely understand the work, and so thank you for what both of you for what you do, because we definitely understand the need, and so congratulations on your new season and role, and we support you, so thank you.
Carson, would you like to introduce yourself? No, I'm just kidding. I'm Jen Reens from McLean County Unit 5. Like I said earlier, I work with early learning, specifically at Brigham School. We have a number of events coming up that probably wouldn't pertain to most of you, honestly. It's like little kid stuff. So if anybody wants to know about little kid events, let me know. But otherwise, I don't have any updates. I was thinking about something though with McLean County Fatherhood Coalition.
They have the fishing.
Yeah, the fishing event is coming up. June. Is it the Father's Day weekend?
I don't remember.
Just look for
Is that
information.
Miller? Is
Information
that
will
Miller
come out.
Park? Yeah, we'll make sure that Tony gets that too.
Yeah, we'll get information out because we're in the middle of planning kind of all the marketing and stuff. But
and
if
the
other
Blue
people
Bow
can help,
campaign is coming up too. We'll
Yep.
make sure that Tony gets that information.
I was going to
as
mention
well.
that too. So that's starting April 1st, the Blue Bow campaign, Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Awareness Month. So you'll hopefully see blue bows and things all over town. I was going to say though, the pathogram, I'm assuming everybody here gets it, right? You all received the pathogram?
Do you guys get the pathogram?
I receive it through Michelle Cervantes, who's my, or who used to be my student, but she's now up, so it comes from her or Rachel, our program manager.
Yeah, and you can actually request it for yourself, where it just and save them some time and energy from sending it. But even anybody can have access to it. So we can send the link for, is his name, Anthony?
Anthony
So
is,
we can send information regarding Anthony to reach out, and it's so helpful to get the pathogram because it updates and lets you know what's going on in the month or whatever. So I absolutely love the pathogram.
I was gonna say, if we all at some point just get our information of what's going on, or our basic, here's our service, here's the contact person, here's what we do, kind of all get that information to him at different times or whatever.
Yeah.
You can almost kind of use that as a database by just searching your email, just saving those, because I go back all the time and find information I need off of pathograms, but it is a really good source of information. It
is
does
a good
not
source.
take the place of like a comprehensive database. I'm not saying that, but definitely helps with,
It lets you know what's going on in our community. So, yeah.
for sure.
Oh, Bernice.
Oh, hi, I'm Bernice. I am the CEO of Cruising Out of Poverty Services. Yeah, sorry I'm late. I came right here from Integrity Counseling. So yeah, we have our thrift store, and we're like a huge clothing closet for people who are in need. Other than that, we have people who come in and shop, and that helps our organization 100% meet people's needs. We try to meet emergency needs without like a lot of red tape. Working one-on-one with people to try to connect them to resources in town, and to just be with them one-on-one, helping filling out applications, use of our mailbox, just an umbrella of services to help people up and out of their situations in town.
Thank you so much.
Do you take donations then?
Oh, I was just gonna asking that, yeah.
Yes, all the
Okay.
time, yeah. And just, so the store is set up, I work full time, so it's set up for people who actually want to, who are in poverty or, working like paycheck to paycheck, to actually come in and work the store for a stipend, becoming a part of our organization. So it's sitting there for people to actually get job training, get used to, wanting to maybe look into being an entrepreneur. And also we're in the kitchen for cooks at First Christian Church, so people who are cooks, they also can come aboard and start building their way up into, whatever they want to do with those abilities that they have.
That's awesome. So you guys serve food too?
We do have fundraisers every now and then at First Christian Church. Yeah,
Got it. Okay.
Every second Monday of the month, we have a fundraiser at Culver's, and usually I try to put that on our Facebook page. And quarterly, we have fundraisers at Pizza Ranch. We just had one last night at Pizza Ranch. So that's just a couple of things that we'll be emailing out. So if you see that, that's what it's about. It's part of our fundraiser.
Okay.
And
if you can send it to that McLean County Human Service Council email address, that way we'll make sure that any flyers or any information that you guys want to make sure that we all see, if you could send it to the McLean County Human Service Council email. It's the email that comes out to you to let you know what's going on. So reply to that or send us the information, and Tony will make sure that we get that out. And we are on task trying to make sure we get things out expeditiously. So it was a rocky start. Because this was new for us. We're new to the team. We're new as leaders. But I tell you guys have an awesome team. Unfortunately, Sabrina and Emily weren't able to make it. They're under the weather. But outside of when we're doing this, we're meeting and seeing what we can do. And another thing, if you guys want to present your information, I know we're going to be reaching out to you, Michelle, because in October we want to have connections and talk about domestic violence. So that's something that we're going to be doing. But there are some open days. If someone wants to present your information, let us know. So contact Emily, or you can just send that email to the email address that I just talked about.
I think that I'm gonna be in contact with you about October, because
we do an outreach thing in October.
Yeah, we do an outreach thing, but I think that Michelle had mentioned something about doing an education about just our services and something in October.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that was with somebody else, but
no, we've done that where we had them come in and talk, but we also do we do like this, I don't know, I want to call it a fair, but we actually do an event where we ask all the different organizations to come out to Family Community Resource Center, and we grill and have food, and we invite.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of, never mind.
And we invite
Yes,
people
okay.
out.
I
so
came
that,
with Nikki, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's exactly what we're going to
Okay,
do.
because I was like, there's something.
It was me. I cut my hair off, so I look
Okay,
a little
I like it. I
different.
love
It feels good.
Yeah, I love it.
But we're going to be doing that again in October. so
Okay,
yes.
awesome. Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
that'll be me, and maybe Michelle can come with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. If all minds are clear, we did schedule out till 1:30, but I can give you guys some more of your time back. Go maybe stand outside, get some fresh
That
air.
vitamin D on your face.
Yeah, exactly that. Well, thank you all so much.